Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content for the 2023-24 season. My name is Dan and today I have what I believe will be the most useful piece of FPL content you will see all pre-season, because I have gathered the full squads of 100 different FPL experts, hand-selected, and put it all into a database and transform that into some really nice graphics that is going to help us make FPL decisions. Really key decisions such as which are the best 6.5 million midfielders, which kind of strikers are people picking, who are the best captains, and so much more data. In fact, I've got so much data in this video that is so useful. I feel like I could make a part 2 to this video with the rest of the data that I haven't included in this one. So if you do want a part 2, please hit the like button. If we hit 2,000 likes, I will drop part 2 to this video tomorrow, and I would really appreciate it as well because I've put so much work into this one. Hope you enjoy. Do subscribe if you want more FPL content. Let's have a look. So first of all, a massive shout out to these 100 FPL experts. Like I say, I've hand selected these and I've looked at all of their teams. There was obviously 100 different full FPL squads screenshots that I've manually catalogued and put into a database to try and get some good information. We're going to use these amazing FPL managers and we're going to turn what they've given us in terms of their teams and turn it into some really good stuff. So let's have a look and see what these 100 FPL expert managers are up to. Okay, so first of all, let's just bang all of the players on screen, or at least most of the players. There's a few 1%ers missing off this page, but here are the most popular players among our 100 experts and the percentage at which they are picked, so their pick rate among these 100 experts. So we are seeing a lot of players kind of at the higher end, some players that are pretty obvious, and then slightly down towards the other side of the graphic, you can see some players who are only really selected by one person each. I believe there was a total of 105 different players used in these 100 squads. I've missed out a few of them. I've taken off a few of them off this graphic just because they are players who have actually left the Premier League. A few people have gone for 4.5 million forwards who have left the Premier League, so aren't in the game technically anymore, so they've kind of put them in. So we've left them off and just included these players on screen. You can see a lot. If you're interested in what one of your players that you have in your team, you're wondering how many experts are picking that player that you have in your team, consult this graphic, and the higher percentage it is, the more popular your player is among experts. Now let's have a look at these players in a little bit more detail. So here are the top 10 most popular players, and I feel like when we're looking at these, we're probably seeing the players who are pretty much essential in our teams. We've got 99% selection of Erling Haaland, and as we say, there is always one in these 100 experts videos. There's always one person who has to try and be a little bit different. So yeah, just one person not going without Erling Haaland. So we really are seeing that he is pretty much essential. 99% of top FPL managers are going for him. I really would not be looking to leave him out of my team. We've got Saka here at 90% as well. That's pretty high. And the likes of Estupinian, Areola, and Gabriel all occupy places above 80% selected. We have got some players slightly lower down here that maybe you expected some of these, maybe you didn't. Chilwell, Bruno Fernandes, Rashford, Martinelli, and Onana also really, really popular indeed. So I would say that the solid core of your FPL team should probably consist of most of these players. Maybe not all of these players, but most of these players at least. So let's have a look and go position by position and see which are the best picks from each position. So starting off with goalkeepers, and the experts do have a favourite, a clear favourite in fact, with 58% going for Andre Onana, the new Manchester United goalkeeper who costs 5 million. Outside of that, we do have a couple of differentials. 58% is certainly not an essential pick necessarily. I feel like anything above 75, 80% probably means that they're going to be essential. If that many experts all agree that it's a good pick, then you probably have to go for that player. But 58%, I feel like there is a little bit of room to go for something a little bit different. We see Pickford at 10%, Johnston at 9%, and Steele at 8%. So those are kind of your 4.5 million goalkeepers. We've got Flecken there, slightly lower there as well, 6% owned. He's another 4.5. And we have got a 5.5 in here as well, as Edison is a 6% owned as well. Slightly lower down the list, we've got Martinez, Kepa, and Leno. Few people going for those players, but not really enough players to constitute a real trend. So the trend is suggesting go for Onana. If you don't want to go for Onana, maybe you can pick from one of these 4.5 million goalkeepers. And if you really want to push the boat out, maybe Edison is a potential pick for you as well. Some really interesting data among our defenders for our experts. Estupiñán, Gabriel and Chilwell are the clear 3 top defenders. So if you've got a 3-defender formation and these 3 are your defenders, you probably are looking in the right areas. But we do still see John Stones here at 50% as well. So if you don't fancy Chilwell, you want to go for Estupiñán, Gabriel and Stones, you're still going to have a team that is looking very much like an expert template team, which is very, very nice indeed. There are lots of other options here as well. We've got kind of a lot of 4.5 million defenders on here in particular. Powell, we've got Colwill, Cash there as well. Botman, they're your kind of 4.5 million defenders that are kind of very, very popular. And some other picks as well. Luke Shaw you could potentially go for. I do want to point out Trent Alexander-Arnold all the way down at 7%. Not really very popular among our experts this year. So it really does seem to be the big 4 of Estupiñán, Gabriel, Chilwell and Stones seem to be those big 4 defenders that our experts are going for, and Henry is being seen on a lot of benches as that 4.5 million bench defender, I guess. Midfielders is an interesting one, and I do want to touch on the 6.5 million midfielders a little bit later on in this video, so hold your horses for that one. We will speak about that one in a minute, but right now, let's have a look at the big 4 for the midfielders, and there is, again, a big 4 midfielders who are all above 50% owned among our experts. So that is Saka, Bruno Fernandes, Rashford and Martinelli. So if you've got a 4-man formation in midfield, then these 4 are probably going to be roughly the players you go for. Saka, probably essential. To go for one of Bruno, of Fernandes or Rashford seems to be something that you have to do as well. I don't think I saw any teams out of the 100 experts, maybe just 1 or 2 teams among the experts that didn't have either of Bruno or Rashford. So go for one of the Manchester United midfielders at least, but going for 2 is absolutely fine as well. Martinelli is up there as really a popular choice since Jesus has kind of had that injury. Martinelli has really emerged as a super popular pick among experts. So maybe if you have had to take out Jesus from your team recently, maybe Martinelli can come in and be that replacement, I guess. Phil Foden at 34% I think is really interesting. Kind of a high risk, high reward player. We're going to touch on the 6.5 million shortly, but we have got Mo Salah down at 22%, which is an interesting one because what I found generally speaking to a lot of people in the FPL world is the Salah owners feel like he is an absolute 100% must own, but the people who don't own Salah are like, I actually don't really see the point in Salah. So if you do have Salah and you think he's 100% must own, then that's absolutely fair enough. But it looks like the experts do disagree with that one in general. There is a trend to have no Salah in your team whatsoever, but still at 22%, it's not like no one's going for him. He still has a significant amount of ownership there. A couple of differentials down the bottom there as well. Richarlison, Solly March that you may be wanting to consider, but nothing showing too much of a strong trend at the bottom. The trends really seem to be Saka, those Manchester United midfielders, and Martinelli really emerging as a little bit of an option there as well. In the forward position, obviously we have Erling Haaland, 99% owned, super popular among our experts. No surprise there. I think you guys would probably be a little bit disappointed to see Erling Haaland any lower than that. In fact, I know some of you guys are going to leave a comment saying, who is this one guy not going for him? How can you be an expert and not go for Erling Haaland? Well, look, we've got a variety of FPL managers in our 100 experts, and we do have some risk takers, some more safe players, some more template players. We've got all kinds, and I tried to strike a balance with the kind of FPL managers that we catalogued for this video. So there's always going to be one, and there was one. In terms of your other forwards here, we've got Ollie Watkins at 40%, but I have to say, outside of Erling Haaland, there doesn't seem to be too much of a massive trend on who is like the standout second forward to go for. There's no real standout other than arguably Ollie Watkins, but that's still only 40%, so less than half of our experts are going for Ollie Watkins, but he does seem to be the favoured man. We've got Nicholas Jackson there as well, Darwin Nunez if you want to go something a little bit different with those two guys, and we've got some other differentials, Joel Pedro, Wissa, and I do want to highlight Nkunku as well. 6% going for Nkunku, many of them actually leaving him on the bench for game week 1 because he's kind of been identified as a player a lot of people want to own eventually, so rather than spend a transfer later, they've actually just bought him now and have just put him on their bench for one game week. I've seen that a few times, and there is a kind of an idea that maybe Nkunku could be available for game week 1. I guess that remains to be seen, but a lot of our experts are still wanting to have Nkunku despite that injury, which is not something we see too often, but definitely something to note. Looking at those bench options, so those players who cost basically the minimum amount possible, your 4 million goalkeepers, your 4 million defenders, and your 4.5 million midfielders and forwards, these were the players who had any kind of trends of pick rate. Areola is at 83% for goalkeepers, with Turner at 4%. I imagine when Turner eventually gets his move to Nottingham Forest, which looks like it's very likely to happen now, I feel like we could actually see a shift here. So we are waiting at this moment for Turner to move to Nottingham Forest, and then for FPL to change his team in the game officially, and therefore at that point we're probably going to see a big switch here, probably see like 50-50 between those two goalkeepers. Right now it's Areola time. Few people kind of jumping the gun, going a little bit early, knowing that they are going to be going for Turner. For defenders, it's Bulldog. It's all about Bulldog. 51%, so almost over half of our experts going for that 4 million bench defender in Bulldog. But Kabore is an interesting one, 29% there, Bayer 23%. So those players slightly lower, but those really occupy the big 4 million defenders: Bulldog, Kabore, and Bayer. They seem to be the big ones among our experts. I know maybe we saw Amari Bell kind of popular before, but our expert not really interested in Amari Bell. I think Bell is only owned by one of our experts for their Game Week 1 team. The rest of them really are looking to go for these more popular ones. We've got Gusto at 4% there, which is, I guess, a little bit of a differential. 4.5 million midfielders, really, there's only two that stand out at all, and that is Anderson and Nakamba. No one else really of any note is being selected, but a lot of our experts are going into the season with 5 kind of a little bit expensive midfielders, so there's no real space for a 4.5 million midfielder in their team, so therefore not too much going on in the 4.5 million kind of category. But if you are looking for a 4.5 million midfielder, Anderson and Nakamba seem to be the two primary picks. 4.5 million forwards, and Mubama is the standout guy here as well. We have got Archer at 13%, Semenyo at 7%, and McAtee at 4%, who I believe is the Fantasy Football Hub's My Team tool. He is the selection on there. He's got the highest predicted points, but Mubama is expected to break into this West Ham team. He started in the game for West Ham yesterday. When you guys watch this video, it would have been yesterday. So we might see Mubama actually start as a regular starter for West Ham, which is why he's being so heavily selected by those experts who obviously are keeping a close eye on the pre-season games. Okay, I think this is where things get quite interesting. I really like having a look at these numbers because it actually tells you a lot about the difference in the way experts think about FPL compared to maybe the more general, more casual FPL player base. Not that there's anything wrong with being a more casual player, but there is obviously a difference in thinking between people who are obsessed with FPL, you know. And we do see a lot of these players who are super popular among the general FPL player base that really our experts are not interested in at all. So here are the players who I think are not as popular as maybe you guys thought they might be. So Trippier is a great example here. 35% selected overall. So in the overall player base, loads of people are going for Kieran Trippier, but not a single one of our experts put him in their Game Week 1 team. That is quite crazy to see such a difference there. 35% to 0% among experts. Absolutely crazy. We've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, 25% are selected overall, but all the way down to 7% among our experts. Botman, 22% down to 6%. Ramsdale, 20% selected. I think a lot of our experts are worried about David Raya coming to Arsenal and therefore have removed Ramsdale from their team because no one is selecting him. Other players who are very low popularity, Saliba, Bell, and Reece James, no one really likes them among our experts. And for Mings, Isak, and McAllister, these are 0%ers. None of our experts are going for Mings, Isak, or McAllister. None whatsoever. And a few more noteworthy examples who I couldn't fit on the graphic, but Enciso and Ferguson, the two Brighton guys, 0% selected among our experts, and yet they do have a little bit of popularity. And I imagine a lot of these players that I've just spoken about now might be in your team, but I would urge you to reconsider, considering that our experts don't really like them, and when all of our experts, when 100 top FPL managers all agree on the same thing, it's usually for a good reason. So particularly those 0%ers, maybe you kind of do need to reconsider whether you actually want them in your team or not. Whether it's Trippier with his bad fixtures, Ramsdale with Raya coming into the club, or players like Isak with bad fixtures, or McAllister, who is not expected to get the same amount of FPL points as he did last season. There's always a reason why our experts are looking to avoid a seemingly popular player. Now, on the flip side of that, I have picked out some players here that are not very popular overall, but our experts actually really like. So this could be an opportunity for you to get some differentials over the overall player base. So the overall player base are not really picking these players. Our experts and the top FPL managers might be, but, you know, in your mini leagues, you know, you're not going to have too many experts in your mini leagues, guys. So maybe you can take advantage of this situation, take the experts' advice, and try and beat your mini leagues with these differentials. So Gabriel, 81%, really highly owned among experts, but only 24%. So he's actually the 6th most popular defender to go for in the overall player base, but the 2nd most popular defender among our experts. Chilwell, I think he's probably the pick of the bunch here. 10.9% overall owned, but 74% owned among our experts. That is absolutely crazy, and we are expecting Chilwell to be really, really attacking, essentially playing as a left winger in this Pochettino Chelsea side and on set pieces as well. So a lot of FPL managers haven't picked up on that one, but our experts, of course, are clued in and they know all about this stuff. Martinelli, nice differential there. Mubama seems to be the pick of the 4.5 million forwards. Foden, opportunities. Kabore, Henry, João Pedro, Pau Torres, and Yohan Wissa there. All players who are not really owned in general, but our experts love these players. So, hey, I think they are some good opportunities for you guys to go a little bit different and take advantage and get ahead of your mini league rivals, I guess. I should quickly talk about the most popular formation. So 3-5-2 seems to be the dominant force. 76% of our experts going for this formation. So there really is a clear favourite formation this season. In past seasons, we usually see a little bit more split, but this season, yeah, there's a clear favourite. A clear favourite. I think the lack of forward options has left with a two-man kind of strike force, and the crazy amount of midfield options has meant that the 5-man midfield is very popular. But there are a few other formations being used just a little bit. So 14% using the 3-4-3, 7% using the 4-5-1, and 3% using the 4-4-2. So the 4-man defence is not as popular as it was last year. Only 10% of our expert managers going for a 4-man defence this year, and it really does seem like 80% prefer 3 at the back and as many midfielders as possible. It seems to be another trend here as well, and not that many forwards compared to previous seasons. Not that many forwards. Alright, so I thought I would also just come up with some miscellaneous stats for you guys. Of course, if you do like these kind of random stats, please do drop a like. We'll see if we can come out with some more for a part 2 of this video, because the possibilities with this data that I've collected so much detail of data, we really can do anything with it. So 2,000 likes and I'll try and do some more kind of key decisions graphics like this. So we've got 6.5 million midfielders. That is a debate that rages on. In terms of our experts, 32% going for Kaoru Mitoma, 30% going for Brian Mbumo, 21% going for Eberechi Eze, and 17% going for other players. So, for example, Diaby or Solly March, or I think one person's gone for Bernardo Silva as well there. So there are some other options as well. But I'm sorry to disappoint you guys, but it does seem to be fairly split. So I know we were probably hoping for a clear answer on the 6.5 million midfielders, but even our experts can't agree on that one. 32% to 30% between Mitoma and Mbumo, and 21% for Eze is not even that far behind either. So it really is a toss-up. I don't think there's a wrong answer here, really. So kind of probably go with your gut on this one. Which one do you feel is going to do the best for you? Go on vibes. Who is your favourite? Because, yeah, our experts can't decide. There's probably no clear best option. They're all great in their own ways. In terms of our second forwards, Watkins is the popular choice. We have got Nicholas Jackson and Darwin coming in as second and third, but if you're going for a 2-forward formation alongside Erling Haaland, who do you want to go for? Ollie Watkins is probably the preferred option among our experts, but he's not the only option. There are other options, but Watkins does seem to be the favoured one. In terms of our third Arsenal player, so the experts opting to go for 3 Arsenal players. Obviously, we've got Gabriel. Obviously, we've got Saka. A lot of people seem to be going for those players, but since the injury to Jesus, a lot of people wondering, who should my third Arsenal player be? Well, Martinelli, again, is a dominant force here, the dominant player among our experts. 11% on Ødegaard and 8% on Trossard as well. We have got a 12% other, and that includes the likes of Nketiah, Zinchenko, a couple of people going for Saliba there as well. So yeah, there are a couple of others. I think one person going for Kai Havertz as well. But overall, Martinelli seems to be the clear favourite in terms of that third Arsenal slot. So hopefully that answers that one. Number of premiums, 78% going for 1 premium, 22% going for 2 premiums. So this season, it seems like going for just 1 premium probably going to be Erling Haaland, seems to be the expert choice. Previous seasons, we probably would have seen two premiums in a lot of teams, but this season, just the one. In terms of money on the bench, I want to explain this one a little bit. So when I say money on the bench, what I mean is how many players on the bench do our experts have that cost more than the minimum. So for defenders, anyone who costs 4.5 million or more. For midfielders and forwards, anyone who costs 5 million or more. So those kind of players. How many of those kind of players do our experts have on the bench? Well, 25% have no players with any money put into them whatsoever on the bench, which is crazy. I don't think we've ever seen that before in previous seasons, but I think that shows how many great 4 million defenders there are this year. We don't usually see that, so this is a real change here. We never see this amount of our top managers going with no money on the bench whatsoever, but we do have 63%, which is still the most popular choice of one expensive player on the bench, and that has actually often either been a 4.5 million defender or a Chelsea player. A lot of our experts are opting to go for maybe a Chilwell or a Jackson or an Nkunku or maybe a Colwill and just put them on the bench for this Liverpool game with the idea that they're going to bring them into their starting 11 in future game weeks when Chelsea have much better fixtures. Saves them making a transfer later down in the line. So maybe a smart move by our experts, which you would kind of hope from them. They are experts after all. And 12%, so not too many people going for two players with, well, two expensive-ish players on the bench. No one's going for a full bench of expensive players. You'd have to be pretty crazy to do that, I think. No top manager is going to do that. So if you have got a lot of money on your bench, maybe something to reconsider. The popular choice really seems to be either one player with any value on your bench, or maybe even no players with value on your bench whatsoever. But I would not be looking to go for two players really at 12%. Three players, absolutely not. And finally, rotating goalkeepers, which I know is actually a controversial subject in the comment section of these videos. I get comments all the time. Every time I say I don't like rotating goalkeepers, it doesn't work, it's just not the one. There's always a few comments that say, no, I disagree, I think rotating goalkeepers are great. Well, 3% of our experts are in the same boat as you guys. They think that rotating goalkeepers are great. However, 97% say no, we're going to go for one goalkeeper and we're going to just pick a 4 million goalkeeper to go on our bench. We're not going to rotate our goalkeepers. We're going to pick and we're going to stick. So that is a huge trend. 97% to me really suggests that the one playing goalkeeper is the way to go. No rotating goalkeepers. It just doesn't seem to be the play. And at 97%, I think that has kind of been proven. That's probably the way we want to go. And finally, guys, we've got to look at captaincy. And what's your prediction? Who's going to be the most popular captain for game week 1? And how much percentage is that player going to occupy? How popular is Erling Haaland as a captain for game week 1? Well, let's see. 93%. Is that higher or lower than you guys thought? Did you think Erling Haaland would be selected as captain by more than that? I don't know, but we have got a few other options here. Saka at 4% seems to be the clear second favourite, and there's a couple of rogue FPL managers in our data set, clearly going for the likes of Fernandes, Rashford and Trossard, but at 1%, these, again, they're not trends. We can't really gather too much out of that other than it's kind of interesting. It's just a little bit interesting, but I don't think we can make FPL decisions based on these differential picks. So Erling Haaland, very, very clearly the captain choice for game week 1. Slap your captain's armband on him and don't even think about it anymore. That is the way to go. Well, that's all the data from today. I want to know from you guys, was there anything in this video that surprised you? Was there any picks that you didn't expect so many experts to like? Are there any picks that you maybe have in your team and you're surprised that no experts are going for them? What are some strange trends that you didn't expect to see in this video? I'd be really interested to know. Of course, please do drop a like. The time is currently 5 AM when I'm recording this. I've been awake for almost 24 hours now because I'm desperate to get this video out for you. Believe me, I've worked so hard and this is taking so long to put together, so I really hope you can drop a like if you did appreciate it. And the data was so good, I just want to make a second video from this, so let me know if you want to see a second video that I can use the same data to make give you more information. Drop a like, 2,000 likes, and we'll bang that video out when I wake up in the morning. But aside from that, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you are subscribing for more FPL content. Check out Fantasy Football Hub. They're still running their 50% discount up until deadline, so don't miss out on that bad boy. And why not go check out one of these videos? Yeah, well, check out that video there. Could be pretty good. You never know. Aside from that, thank you so much for watching once again, and I will see you later, mates. Bye-bye.